And my mom, after she would discipline us, she would get on the phone and talk to her friends about it. Oh, that burnt me up.
That mom was off the chain.
She was like, girl, do you know I'm sitting right there. Do you know she had the audacity to go in that classroom and do blah, 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 blah. Oh, you got an attitude? Huh? You got an attitude? Like,
What's up, y'all? I'm Adrian, and I'm here to bring you my podcast, Straight Chaos No Chaser. Today, we will talk about things that we've experienced, me and my friends, from the crazy interactions to just different experiences in our lives. I live in Southern Nevada, and I'm a veterinarian. I love music, and I love all things love. Today, my guest is the one and only NaTosha Zanders. Say what's up, NaTosha.
what's up, world? How are you?
I'm doing good, girl. It took us forever to get this thing going. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? We got it.
We got it now.
Exactly. So y'all in trouble. So NaTosha is my friend. I met her in college. We both attended the Fort Valley State University. If you don't know, you need to know.
That's right.
We became friends because NaTosha I won't say was, because I'm sure you can still throw down. She's a dancer, and she and some of my other friends were on different dance teams in college. And I'm an aspiring dancer. You know what I'm saying? 8 counts, all that jazz.
You can dance, girl.
Thank you. Thank you for that validation. So they all danced together, and she quickly became a part of our, I don't want to say clique, but just my group of homegirls that I hung around from like the end of freshman year till now. So NaTosha, She is amazing. She is also the founder and creator of Courageous Creations clothing line, which is amazing. I am wearing one of her tops now as we speak. Let me get up so you can see it.
And you look fabulous, darling. She was one of my models in the fashion show.
One of her models in her fashion show early January. Was COVID going on?
No, it was right before COVID.
A mess,
Yeah.
And I always love being in Atlanta because that's where a lot of my friends are, and I'm from South Georgia, so it is always good to be in that area. But I really, really enjoyed that fashion show. I haven't been in a fashion show since undergrad, when I think we modeled in a Delta. Oh, excuse me. She is also my line sister, my 31 of the illustrious sorority of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Incorporated, it.
Period. I don't say that word a lot, but period.
Period.
So she also is my LS, and I think that's the last time that I modeled in a fashion show, like right after we crossed. And we had a fashion show.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah,
exactly. That's so long ago. But
it's been a long time,
girl. Too long. We're not even gonna say how long. But it was so fun just being in your fashion show and seeing so many familiar faces. But most importantly, being able to model your work and your creation, because I still have the very first piece that you made for me when you was making those capes.
Oh, girl, I forgot about that.
You bought it for me for my birthday last year? Yeah, when you came out here. Yep. So I still have that cape, girl, and I'm going to forever have it.
That's right. Oh, thanks, Adrian. I love you.
You too. So we are pretty much at the end of 2020. We have 2 more days? Well, tomorrow's New Year's Eve. And I am glad to see 2020 go, although I know that we're going to carry some of 2020 into 2021. Mm-hmm. But I hope that this is a year of repair and restoration and just getting back to who we know we can be as a people.
Yeah.
You know, we recently had the election, and so happy about the outcome of that.
Yeah.
And I'm just hopeful for, you know, what they can do in office, and the work hasn't been done yet. You know, so much has to be done and needs to be done, and they have their work cut out for them. And
Yeah.
again, like I said, I am happy of who we have in office, but at the same time, a difference still has to be made, you know. So,
Right. I agree.
um, well, are there things that you were happy to see leave in 2020? You know, or stay in 20? You
Oh,
wanted to stay in 2020?
I want uh just the pandemic period to stay in 2020.
Right.
But I understand. I understand it takes time. It takes a while to, even though we have vaccines that are out now, it takes a while to get the statistics. It takes a while to get um, all the data and all the things that need to be corrected with the vaccine. It takes a while, so I understand. Yeah,
Let
it's
me
gonna
put a
take a
pin in that.
while, but
My girl works at the CDC. You know what I'm saying? You know, she right here to my statistics.
oh, girl, you're funny. You're so funny. No, it's just that we just gotta, a lot of people want to know my opinion about, the vaccine and what do I think and all these different things. But my personal view, and this is not a view of CDC, my contract company, GDIT, none of that. It's not a view of them, but I personally feel like we just want to see a little more statistics on
Yeah.
how the immunity is going, if it's going to be worth getting, and if we're going to have to get it every year because it's changing.
Yeah.
All those things I just want to know. So
Yeah, there are a lot of things that go into something new. You know, there's trial and error for a reason. I don't want to be a part of that error, so I'm gonna have to wait a little while. Some of the things that I heard about it were infertility, and so
yeah, I heard about that too.
this many
Um,
kids. So go
yeah.
ahead.
No, I think no. Another friend of ours was talking about that same issue that I had not considered. Um, so yeah, and then we're in that age bracket where, you want kids or whatever God has for us, and you don't want that to be stifled. So
Right.
yeah, it's just so much to consider.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I have this many
Yeah,
kids and I wanted this many kids, but I think I might be, you know, pushing this many kids. So
ain't nothing wrong with that, girl.
if I can get some twins, listen, if one of y'all out there got twins in y'all family, you know, and you got some good values and some good morals, I'm kidding. I kid. Well, those are some very good points, and I agree wholeheartedly with you. And I just hope that we start to see the end of this thing pretty soon, you know, sooner than later, because it has really affected so many people's lives, you know, this
Yeah,
holiday season, not being able to travel, not being able to be with loved ones. I know I stayed here in Vegas. I didn't go home, but I did FaceTime my family. And it's so good, the avenues that we have now to be able to communicate
oh
with
my
our
God,
loved ones, no matter where they are. So that is something that I love.
me too. That is
And
phenomenal.
this year I had my mama for Secret Santa, and she just, I want this, I want that, and I want that. And I said, okay. She said she wanted the Apple 11. I said, girl, you can't even pronounce the iPhone, so no, you can't have it. So she's like, I'm just kidding, because she's working on an 8 now. She need to upgrade, but we'll get her something for her birthday or something. So that brings me to our topic for today. This is chaos with the right one, your mama. Okay.
Mm.
So, girl, let me tell you, my mama, I love her to death. Linares, Patrice Linares Griffin. She don't like to be called Patrice. It's Linares. She a trip. But my mom, I love her to death. But I tell you, she ain't play the radio when it came to me. I was an only child for 12 years. So for a while, it was just me, and she was a young mother. My mom had me when she was 18 years old, and I don't know. I can't imagine having a kid at 18 years old. Like I was still being a kid myself, you know. But
Right.
my mama, she did what she had to do. So this episode we talk about when our mama didn't play the radio and when we knew what was up. So, girl, one of the stories that I have about my mom is I was in the 6th grade and she used to substitute. She was going to school for education, but then she used to substitute in her free time or whatever. So, girl, I had attention all the time. Listen, I love to talk. I can run this mouth. You hear me? Just like my dad. So,
Yes.
girl, I had attention all the time. I was a regular. You hear me? Peanut butter sandwiches and milk. Okay. So one day she came to the
Yes.
substitute, and I didn't know that she was coming. So apparently she went to the lunchroom during our lunch period, and she was looking for me. And all of my friends were trying to get this lie together to tell her where I was. Can you imagine 11 and 12-year-olds trying to make up a lie to lie to an adult about where their child is or whatever?
Not working.
Imagine what they were saying and how they were looking. So when I got out of detention, they was like, "Your mama was here today." I was like, "Oh, she was." They was like, and she was mad. I was like, "Oh, and you ain't have cell phones then, so she couldn't like threaten me and text me." You know what I'm saying?
That might have was a good thing.
Girl, it's that anticipation of when you're gonna get your behind whooped when you get home. So I get home and my mom is like, "So I get to school today and you had detention." She was like, "And not only did you just have it today, I found out you have it all the time." And I was just like, "Yeah." And it's because you're running your mouth because you won't be quiet. And I said, "Yes, ma'am." Girl, when I tell you my mama whooped my behind so bad, I ain't been whooped like that. That's the only whooping I remember to this day. I swear she whooped me for like 7 minutes straight. Like 7. I just need to use that number. Like she told my behind out the frame and she was talking with it and she was so mad because it's like, I'm trying to be a school teacher and you the one out here acting up. And I was like, I mean, I'm trying to make your name be known in the system. You know what I'm saying? For when because you got a bad behind child. Girl, I didn't have detention anymore that year until I got to the 9th grade. I mean, it just was what it was. Girl, I had detention in the 9th grade, and the lady knew my name. She'd be like, "Hey, Miss Hosnoff." I'd be like, "Hey." I get my magazine out, girl. I'll be reading it. I'll be reading 17 magazine. My mama didn't know about that one, but it's hard to be on time to class sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, or sometimes you just need to talk. We didn't have cell phones. Girl, I ain't had no cell phone in high school. So
no,
we was what, passing notes or talking.
Girl, we didn't get cell phones to Fort Valley, okay?
I had a flip phone.
Please, Nokia. They don't know about that, girl.
You remember that little game you used to play? What was it called? Snake. Boy, if you don't move the fingers fast enough, it ain't gonna work for you, girl. Oh my God. I remember when my mom finally agreed to let me have a cell phone. I was like, oh, thank you. And you gonna pay for it? Yes. So what's something that you remember that your mom just wasn't playing the radio about?
Yeah, my mom was a single mom. It was 2 of us at the time, me and my sister. And she was 23 when she had me, so she was young. And yeah, my mom, she was a cafeteria manager.
Oh.
At the same school where I went to elementary school. And most times I can slide past my mom because she's always in the back. She's never on the line. She's never in the front, you know. So, I mean, of course the workers knew who I was, right. But I tried to get all of my talking and all of that after lunch. But this time I had silent lunch. For those of you guys who do not know what silent lunch is,
Silent lunch? What is that?
It's where you've done way too much in class before lunch. You got to wear a silent lunch hat. It says silent lunch. And you cannot talk, okay?
Oh
because
you had to wear
you
it.
don't talk enough.
You had to wear it in the cafeteria? Oh, that's torture. That's bad. Now that is bullying. That's bullying. That is what that is.
Girl, my mama happened to come on the line to do a money exchange or something. And when she saw me, she didn't make a scene. She gave me those eyes like, I'm gonna cut your behind when you get home. Like, oh Lord. So, like you said, you don't have cell phones, you don't have text messages, you don't know. So when I get home, the day is spent. I'm figuring she gonna forget. She didn't say nothing to me. But when I got out that bathtub,
girl,
she was ready. She was like, oh, you remember you had silent lunch? And because you always talking at inappropriate times. Yes. So she tore into my butt, girl. And I don't remember, like you said, I don't remember having silent lunch ever again.
Girl, you know what? One thing I never got was a whooping. Right after I'm getting out the tub. I don't know nothing about them wet whoopings. I don't know nothing about them wet whoopings, Lord. And I thank the Lord. I think my mama instilled so much fear in me that I just didn't want to be in trouble because that lady threw like a hanger across the table at me. I was like, I don't know what I said, but I don't know them wet whoopings. But I imagine that they are something that you don't want.
Oh my God. Yeah, she was really, I remember her being very fun. My mom was really fun when we were growing up. She would teach us how to skate in the streets, and she would, we would have a good time. We would have parties and have people over, like our cousins over. But when she didn't play, she didn't play.
Hey,
like
at all.
She came to the school. I think I was in elementary school too. This is elementary school. They called her. She was not at the cafeteria. She was not working at the cafeteria at that point. She was working at the hospital then. They called her. She had to come off of her job. She whooped me in front of the classroom. And that's when, you can get your butt whooped, at school. She whooped me in front of the classroom. Those kids teased me for the rest of that week. She never had to come back up there again. Ever. Yeah.
Girl, in front of the class?
Yeah, my mom didn't play at all. Period. I was afraid of my mama. Like, literally.
Dang. You know what? It's a good thing we didn't have phones because that would have been online.
Girl, we would have been all over social media.
All over social media, girl. You wouldn't have been able to live that down.
No.
That's one of them things that you want to try to get taken off the internet, girl. The internet is forever. Okay? Like, it's good to have cell phones, but for a lot of reasons, I'm glad we did not have cell phones in our
Me too.
day. Please believe.
Me too.
And then, you know what? Like something we couldn't say, we couldn't say the word lie. Girl.
No.
And even to this day, I'll be like, she telling a story. You know what I'm saying? 36 years old, she's telling a story. And I remember one time we were sitting down, girl, and my cousin, she probably was probably 11, and I was 14. And she was just talking, and she was like, you telling a lie? I was like,
you said a cuss word?
Okay, I'm like, I know y'all heard her. She said it. I ain't said it. Girl, I will not say lie. That is a cuss word. You hear me?
Yes.
You telling a lie. Now you better be telling a story because your mom be like, she telling a what? She telling.
That's right. That neck turned real quick, huh? What she said?
You know something I miss? People used to say, stay out of grown folks' business.
Yes.
Girl, because now little children be all up in the mess. I was like, go sit your behind down, bro.
And they try to have a say. My little 4-year-old, he is always, number one, he is always underneath me. But two, he's like, Mama, who that is on the phone? Oh, she's just so funny. She's doing, no, what did he tell me the other day? He said, Mama, You are just too much. You're just too much, mama. I said, don't tell me that, boy. You 4. I'm too much.
These kids tell you, but look, he hearing one of y'all say either you or Larry.
Yep.
That's what they do.
Yep.
Girl, my little nephew said, what the heck? I said, who he get that from?
Yep.
My sister told me, Shan Smart. Me, I be saying that. Fix it.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about at now time, could I be in my mother and whatever other grown up she was talking to conversation? It was a real quick stay out of grown folks' business, and there was no talk back. You hear me?
No, not in front of them at all. Like if you had a little something to say underneath your breath, you better not ever let them hear it. Ever.
Girl, you better go in that room like I used to. I used to go in my room and close the door and cuss my mama
and
out.
Tell her off.
I used to be punching the walls, and I used to be punching the air in the walls and everything, girl. Girl, ooh, I used to be cussing her out and everything. And then I walked.
Yep.
That's what my mom used to do though. Oh, she used to do something that would make me mad, and then she'd be like, "Adrian, you want to go do this and do that?"
Yep.
And then she'd be like, "Don't have no attitude." What? That don't even make sense. Like, you just upset me and I'm mad, and now you want to be friends with me and let's go hang out and do stuff, and then you're gonna punish me even more because I don't want to be your friend right now? What sense that make?
That's exactly right. And my mom, after she would discipline us, she would get on the phone and talk to her friends about it. Oh, that burnt me up.
That mom was off the chain.
She was like, girl, do you know I'm sitting right there. Do you know she had the audacity to go in that classroom and do blah, 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 blah. Oh, you got an attitude? Huh? You got an attitude? Like, I said, let me just go in my room, cause
facts. And then be like, don't slam my door.
We gonna take the door off the hinges. We don't have no privacy in my house.
Girl, I'm messing around and slammed the screen door one time. My mama came back there with a shoe. I heard a boom, boom, boom. Don't be slamming. I'm like, dang. Honestly, I really what you're doing. Y'all need to fix that door anyway. Girl, my mama did not play the radio. And you know, one time, they don't forget nothing. You hear me?
Yes.
My mom, so I was the only child for 12 years. And then my mom had my sister Takara at the age of 12. And I was like, okay, you know. And then 2 years later, she had my sister Shannon. And I was like, you're doing too much, okay? With all these kids.
Yep.
Pump your brakes. You and my father. So there was this skirt I used to wear to school, girl. It was this black skirt, and it had a slit up the middle. Up the side of it, girl. And I used to wear these little tall little block heels with it, girl. So when I used to walk, that booty used to be hugging that skirt, and that skirt used to be coming up, girl. So my mama had told me, she said, don't wear that skirt no more. I was like, yes, ma'am. My mama ended up going into labor with, I think, Shannon. My mom went into labor, yeah. She went into labor and she's at hospital. I was like, oh, skirt time.
Black skirt.
Girl, why my daddy picked me up from school early that day and I couldn't change? The Lord works in mysterious ways. I was like, my daddy even said, he was like, did your mama tell you not to wear that skirt to school no more? You know, I don't think my daddy be listening. Clearly he was. Girl, we got over there to the hospital. My mama was like doped up and stuff, but you know, she said, didn't I tell you not to wear that skirt no more? I was like, damn. She's like,
she remembered that.
You're on punishment for 2 weeks. I'm like, what?
Wow.
Girl, that lady remember that little black skirt. Honey, I love that little skirt. And my mom didn't like to rush, but we would find ourselves rushing sometime. And I remember one time, so I was on a little league cheerleading team called the Nighthawks. Girl,
go girl.
So we had an award night, and I was gonna get some awards. And there was a guy that I liked who lived a house away from me, and so he played football or whatever, and we were all outside. We were just hanging and playing, and my mom said, "Make sure you come in this house before. Don't come in this house late, because we won't make it to that award show." The award show was like at 5. Okay. So I'm just outside, just chilling and talking to the boy, me and my friend and his friend, and we're just sitting on the sidewalk. And he's like, "Well, I got to go in the house and get ready for the award show." I was like, "All right, me too." All a 10 years old girl. So I go in the house at like 4 o'clock. My mama sitting on that couch. She was like, I said, "I'm finna get ready for the award show." She said, "We're not going." "I told you not to come in this house too late." She said, "The award show started at 5 o'clock and it's 4 o'clock. You think I'm finna be rushing to get down there?" I was like, "But mom," she's like, I said, girl, and kept watching whatever she was watching on the TV. Girl, the next day, everybody was like, "Oh my God, Adrian, you got all these awards. Like, we was looking for you." I want to say, blame her.
Blame that one.
Listen, and it took one time for me to realize my mama didn't play when she said what she said. Okay. I mean, I was so sad and hurt. And she just was like, "We ain't going. Like I told you, not gonna come in here late." And I was like, "But mom, it didn't work. It didn't work. It did not work at all." Did you have anything of your mom being like that? Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, she did that a lot with me. I love dance, so I danced my whole high school 9th to 12th grade, and she was like, and by that time she had my little brother and little sister. So it was 4 of us, and although I had stepdaddy at this point, but so she was like, "Yeah, I'm not paying for those uniforms." I was like, "Huh?" She was like, "No, I can't afford that. And so if you want to be in the band, you now have to get a job." I was like, "Huh?" And this is like, I'm practicing. This is almost time for the first game. I'm ready to go. But no, those uniforms were not cheap back in the day. They had all the sequins and boots and everything. So, girl, I had to go get me a job at 16 if I wanted to have, anything extra than what was needed. So, girl, they kept telling me, "No, I'm sorry, this is 15." Wow. When I wanted a job. And at 16, that's when you could really work. But it was this one place that would accept you at 15, which was Popeyes. And I kept going up there, girl, week after week. It was like, "We ain't gonna open this, we ain't gonna open this, blah, blah, blah." Girl, I didn't care. I was like, "I'm gonna be in this band, so you better open up one of the positions because I got to get in there." So anyway, long story short, I get in there. I'm able to pay for all my uniforms and everything from here on out, really. So it kind of helped me, be responsible. And I think sometimes as parents, we try to give our kids what we didn't have growing up, and it cripples them. So I think, like, for the next generation, we gotta have some of that. Although we can afford it, we got to be able to have a little restraint in giving it to them, because it's mommy and daddy's money. It's not yours.
See, that's the mom I have to learn when I have children, because I have a nephew and I spoil him, and my mom's like, "For Christmas, you just want to get everything. You can't let nobody else get him nothing." I'm like, "Y'all can get him stuff. I just love him." I was like, I was spoiled as a child, so I'm a product of my environment. I mean, I was spoiled. Like, I got a convertible in the driveway, but I didn't want so much at all. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, I get that. The last story I want to tell is about my mom and me. This helped me realize that I'm not a liar and I can't lie, and the truth will always come out, and it may set you free. You're gonna have some consequences, but it's gonna set you free.
Oh yeah.
Girl, I'm probably, again, 10 or 11 years old, and I had gone over to a friend's house and we wanted Pizza Hut. and nobody would take us. No. We wanted Pizza Hut, and her like aunt would drop us off, but we were gonna have to find us a ride back. My mama would never allow that to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I told her, I said, hey, let's see, I'll say Tiffany. I'll just throw out a name. That wasn't her name, but Tiffany's aunt is gonna take us down to Pizza Hut and get us some pizza. My mom was like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. I'll see you when you come back. She was an older lady, so we get a Pizza Hut. Girl, she drops us off. And I had some of my mom's money from like going to the store for her. And I had enough to buy like a pan pizza. And the girl bought her own little pizza. And I think maybe her little cousin or something was with us. So anyway, on the way back, we needed to get back home. And we ended up either calling her brother or seeing one of her friends pass by the Pizza Hut. One of her older brother's friends passed by in his boomed out Chevy. We flagged him down so we can get a ride back home. So we get back home or whatever, and I go to my house, and maybe like an hour later, my mom's like, Adrian, where's that money? Where's my change from the store? And I'm like, I don't have it. I spent it. She was like, what do you mean? I said, well, we went to Pizza Hut and I bought pizza. She said, so you mean to tell me you went down there with that lady and she made you buy your own pizza? I said, yes, ma'am. She did.
You said, I'm going to ride with it.
I'm going to keep going. But she don't test my mama because guess what? She going to go over there. So my mama said, what? She said, oh, we finna go over here. Because I know good and well she did not make a 10-year-old buy her own pizza and she volunteered to take you out of Pizza Hut. So she walking out the door, I'm like, oh Lord, now never. I was like, no, that's not what happened. She dropped us off and I had to buy my own pizza and we caught a ride back with her brother's friend. My mom was like, she was so mad. We were already outside and she had locked the door. Girl, she put her key to get back in the house. The key wouldn't even work. I think that was the Lord. Like, no, Miss Linares, don't whoop her. Don't be Girl, she could not get in the house. Do you know she drove me all the way down to my grandma's house to beat my behind? I mean, my grandma was like, well, what did she do? You know that's a bad woman when somebody like, well, what did she do?
Right.
Girl, my mama was tearing my behind alive. And she was like, and don't you be lying to me. Like, don't you ever lie to me. And at that point, it made me realize just like how much I just didn't like lying because in the end, the truth is always going to come out. Just like she asked me, you know, she goes to the grocery store, girl, and I had ISS in high school. And this old snitch ass girl working at the grocery store to my, did agent tell you she had ISS? What you think? Do you think I told my mama had ISS?
No.
So my mama came home to my, so I heard you in ISS. I was like, yes. Cause you know, I learned from that last situation, like, I'm not gonna lie about it. Like, girl, if ISS is what you learned about me in high school, that's fine. That's the least of my worries. Cause you don't want to know about how much I was skipping band class, girl. Skipping and a suspension.
Senior skip day.
So, you know, these things about our moms, true enough, we got in trouble, but at the same time, it made us better and it taught us a lot of things. So why do you think that, you know, they were this way with us? You know, why do you think that they had very little leniency when it came to us and our behaviors?
Well, I think for sure their upbringing too. You know, they're coming off of our parents at that time in the 80s are coming off of all sorts of things that their parents went through and their grandparents went through, as far as being Black, being you know, education or no education, being having to work 2 and 3 jobs to put meals on the table. So they didn't have time to play the radio. They didn't have time for that. They didn't have time for you cutting up and making them get off their job because they're losing money. Therefore, we don't have food on the table. It was the downward type, it really affected everything. If your attitude and if you were acting up in school, it really affected the household. So nowadays people are educated. Look at you, you're a veterinarian. You kind of, you're set for life in that way. You know what I mean? And so even though we feel like, if my child was acting up in school, which he was a month or so ago, and I had to go up to school and whoop him just like my mom did. It's so funny. It's all over again. And even though I mean, I have the flexibility, especially, now to take off and do what I need to do a little bit different than what my mom had. I still have low tolerance for children who all you have to do is go to school. You don't have to work. You don't have to do any of those things. All I ask is that you get your, as the old people say, lesson. Get your lesson. And that's all you have to do. You're privileged. You have the ability to go to school. You have food on your table. You have clothes on your back. Nothing. No, we don't need any problems, because the only job you have is to do that.
Yeah, but
so
one job.
I think that's probably why they were a little more rough and tough, because they knew what society would look like without us getting an education. It would be work, die, pretty much.
No, exactly. You're right. And I think that, like, with my mom, because she was such a young mom and I was her first child, so it was like, who's gonna be the parent? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a trial and error type thing, and I want to make sure that I am being the parent that my mother was, her mother, but at the same time being a little more of, I won't say a friend, but being a little more understanding. Because one thing about my mom I love is that there were some things that her mom maybe didn't do for her that she wanted, and she was going to make sure that she did it for us. Right. And so, that's even like starting to have sex. My mom was like, Adrian, you having sex? I was like, what? No, never. She's like, I just want to put you on some birth control. I was like, oh, well, girl, why you didn't say that? You should have led with that, girl. And, I was 17 at that time, but I remember my mom, bringing home like little books and things like that just talked about the female body and just about hygiene and just different things. And she made a point to know where I was, because when she was young, sometimes she had to check in, her and her brothers and sisters, and a lot of times they didn't, and they just did whatever they wanted to do. And my grandmother was a great disciplinarian. Trust me, they got a behind whoop, but I think our grandparents were more so on the discipline and providing tip versus trying to be understanding and trying to be parents who will want to talk and listen and stuff like that. So I just think that my mom, this was her first time, and she kind of wanted to get as right as possible. So it's like, I'm not going to let her run over me. I'm not going to let her think certain things are okay. And then when she get out into the future, she carries on those behaviors, and who knows where it can lead her. So I agree with what you're saying, and I thank her for it. Girl, Linaris, I love you, girl.
I love you, Rita, girl. I love you.
All right, so that is all that we have for y'all today. I hope that you have enjoyed this podcast. Thank you so much, NaTosha, for coming on and talking with me and talking to our listeners. Is there anything that you want to leave with the people today?
I just want to say that, as we go into the new year, a lot of people have all these expectations and New Year's, they used to call them New Year lies, New Year stories. No, but I think going into a new year with fresh eyes, fresh perspectives, knowing that it's okay to have hangups and hiccups, because we all do, and let yourself, forgive yourself, let yourself have those moments. But then when you get an opportunity at a new day, wake up, give God thanks, and run. do all you can while you can, because 2020 showed us that, man, life is really like a vapor, like it talks about in the Bible. It's so like a vapor. It's here today and it's gone tomorrow. You don't know when your day is. I don't know when my day is. But all I can do is live on purpose, live my best life, be my best self, and encourage others to do the same. That's what we do at Courageous Creation.
Y'all see, that's why she's my girl. She's always dropping a jewel, and I love her. She speaks to my spirit and my soul a lot of times. You know, I have to get her on the phone. This is my warrior right here. But you are absolutely right. And Tasha, also let people know where they can find you on Instagram,
and
Facebook, and all.
Right. So you can find me on Instagram at Courage at Work. That's COURAGEATWORK. That's Courage at Work. And on Facebook at Courageous Creations INC, period. And then online at courageouscreationsonline.com.
Yay!
I look forward to seeing y'all.
This is so amazing.
Thank you for having me on, Adrian.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, this is podcast number 1. And so we were excited to get this thing going. It's been in the making, and I appreciate you so much for lending your time.
Absolutely.
I can't wait for more clothes. I think this weekend I'm gonna wear my what am I gonna wear?
Your latest, your dress? No, not your dress.
No, you have the dress.
Your Kamala Harris sweater.
Yes. I always say her name wrong. Is Kamala Harris?
Yeah, I always say it wrong too.
Girl, I think somebody, girl, but you know what? She our vice president. Hello, thank you.
Yeah, please,
girl.
First woman vice president.
That number that you made for me, which is beautiful. Pictures will be coming soon.
Yes, it will.
Yes, it will. So my tip to leave with everybody today is spay and neuter your pets. Okay. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Snip, snip, snip. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. And I want to wish you much love, peace,